Hello everybody, welcome inside Vancouver Public Schools. I'm Nick Vole. We've got a great show for you today with updates about new schools and the results of the district's recent levy. We have a full team on hand to bring you those stories, plus some amazing student and staff successes. But first, our top three. Now these are our favorite posts from social media. Number 3 comes from the Columbia River boys soccer team as they start their spring season. The Chieftains are looking to capture another state championship this season, and they've got a great place to play at Chieftain Stadium. What a cool photo. And our number 2 comes from Roosevelt Elementary School, which hosted an African drumming group. The school's art teachers used Black History Month to teach African drumming and rhythm, culminating in a special assembly. They said they were glad to share culture through art, and students and staff had a great time enjoying the performance. And our number 1 comes from Eisenhower Elementary, where mathletes took first place as a team in the Math is Cool competition. Individually, they won 5 trophies. Math is Cool gives kids a chance to learn math in a competitive environment and gives kids practical applications of the math they're learning in class. Congrats to the Eisenhower mathletes. And Vancouver voters have stepped up for children in a big way. In February, they said yes to a supplemental levy that will preserve the level of service our schools are able to provide students. The supplemental levy passed by a big margin, winning just over 60% of the vote. The district was forced to ask for more money just 1 year after voters approved a previous levy because after changes to the state funding formula for schools, legislators did not provide enough funding to keep levels of service at the same standard. Vancouver Public Schools and its students, thank you. It is time for a Revitalizing Vancouver update, the latest on construction projects paid for with your bond dollars. The district has made a decision about what to do with proposed plans for 2 elementary schools. The decision comes after weeks of public input. Joining us now is Tara Cox. Tara, can you explain what's going on?
Sure. In the original bond measure passed in 2017, plans included 2 new elementary schools in high-growth areas of the district, one near downtown and one on Northeast 25th Avenue. The first is VITA, Vancouver Innovation, Technology and Art School, a magnet school at the former site of the Fort Vancouver Regional Library. Design plans are already underway for that project. The second would be close to Sarah J. Anderson Elementary. But with changing enrollment numbers and rising construction costs, the district needed to scale back the original plans and come up with alternative options that would stay within a changing budget.
Okay, so within those options, how did they go about deciding what to do?
Yeah, so the district held 7 public forums to present the plans and gather input from parents, staff, and community members. The public also had the opportunity to give feedback online. The school board reviewed the public feedback and instructed the superintendent and team to move forward with plans to build 2 schools to serve the enrollment needs of both the downtown area and the Anderson Elementary area.
Okay, so now what happens next?
Well, the short answer is that both schools will be built. However, the plan for the schools have changed. In order to keep both schools within budget, both in construction and operational costs, they'll be smaller, with enrollments of 300 students at each facility. The plans do include the opportunity to expand the schools in the future or even at the construction phase if bids come in lower than expected. Again, after hearing from the community, this is the way the school board decided to go. They felt it was the most commonly supported idea and also the truest to the original bond measure that passed 3 years ago. Back to you.
Thanks, Tara. The latest new school building is now full of students, and on its opening night, it had a huge community turnout and a very special guest. Families and curious community members walked the halls for the first time at Vancouver iTech Preparatory, but first, a ribbon cutting ceremony.
3, 2, 1, welcome back.
And just like that, Vancouver iTech Preparatory is officially open for business. At its dedication ceremony, a huge crowd turned out to get a first tour of the new building. Few of them were as excited as Washington Governor Jay Inslee.
So this is a dream come true, and I want to thank the local community for supporting it. This was a decision by local taxpayers to make an investment in these kids, and I couldn't think of a better investment.
During the ceremony, community members heard from students and VPS staff members who helped make the iTech dream into a reality. And Governor Inslee honored a student with a dream who is using iTech to reach it.
In autumn today, the Washingtonian of the day is Uneri Garcia Hernandez.
Before cutting the ribbon, Governor Inslee got a personal tour of the building from students and Principal Darby Mead.
It's gorgeous, innovative, and I really appreciate what the principal said, which is it's designed to be flexible for the future. Okay, education is going to change in the next several decades, and this building was built to accommodate new kinds of education. So this place is really thinking ahead.
The building's design reflects the school's focus on collaboration.
I think it's awesome. I do think it's amazing and incredible, and my daughter loves it, and I think it's just a great collaborative space for the kids and stuff. So.
For students, the new building removes barriers to learning.
It's so cool. All the different stuff that we get to do here is amazing. All the laser printer, the laser cutter, all the specialized classrooms, even this common room is so cool.
For parents, the new building represents an opportunity for their children.
It's amazing. It's beautiful. It's like to me, like a college campus, like a brand new college campus.
You think he's going to go here someday, maybe?
He might. He likes the robots a lot.
For Governor Inslee, the new building shows how K-12 education can help Washington's economy.
It's really interesting because today I've gone to companies that are just desperate for high-tech talent, ABSI and SEH, and this is an answer to that. And this is the best thing that the state can do for the development of these new high-tech industries. And it's the best thing we do for our kids as well.
iTech is one of many magnet programs available in the district, and applications open up every winter. Another new building is on its way, this time for Fir Grove School and the Vista program. Students and staff came out on a sunny February morning to ceremoniously break ground on the construction project. The actual construction work has already begun, as you can see, but as Principal Jeremy Burles explained, actually turning over some dirt meant a lot to the school community.
To see the new building, to kind of be here to take part of the process that we really are getting a new building, and it's really happening, and the theoretical planning for years that's been going on is now really happening, so it's really exciting.
The current Fir Grove building across the street from Roosevelt Elementary was built in the 1940s, so this will be a major improvement. The new campus will be nearby, next to the gatehouse between 4th Plain and East 18th. Fir Grove and the Vista program are structured programs for students with emotional and/or behavioral issues. The new building will provide space that's tailored for the school's individual needs and should be done by the start of the 2021 school year. Still, another school project is nearly completed, and we got our first look inside. The principals of McLaughlin Middle and Marshall Elementary Schools showed Superintendent Dr. Steve Webb around their new conjoined school campus. It's scheduled to open the Monday after spring break, so the project is nearly completed. The schools share a few common spaces to save money and also encourage mentorship by older students. Dr. Webb told us he feels inspired when he sees these new buildings, knowing what they'll do for kids.
And it really reflects this community's deep commitment to their children and to their public schools. This vision is an equity and excellence for all vision from the outset. The opportunities that we've provided to co-create these kinds of learning spaces really are resulting in some future-ready, future-focused learning spaces that will set young people up for post-secondary success.
The new Marshall and McLaughlin campus are set to open right after spring break, as I mentioned, and you can catch more from the tour in a special video produced by the district, which will be available on its YouTube and cable channels. And there are lots of other projects happening across the district. Here is a quick look. Over at Fruit Valley, progress is being made on new classroom spaces. It's one of many elementary schools that are expanding to house more students. Another is Philida Elementary. As you can see, it's even further along in the process with ceilings and walls now in place. The new classrooms here and at other schools will get kids out of portables. Now over at Truman, they're getting an entirely new school, and it's coming along nicely. You can see walls and paint in these photos, and it's looking good for about 600 students next fall. Now you can keep track of the many projects happening across the district on the VPS website. That's vansd.org/reschools. See what's happened so far and see plans for future projects too. A local wrestler is now a state champion, and it's a name you may have heard before. Let's go over now to our student reporter, Aiden Billingsley, to find out more. Aiden?
Thanks, Nick. This is not the first time Hudson's Bay has had a state champion. In fact, senior Allison Blaine has now won it 3 years in a row. At the Tacoma Dome in February, Allison faced off against Elise Scrafford from North Kitsap in the 135-pound championship. Before her final match, she was pretty nervous.
I just felt so much extra pressure, and I don't even know why. Everybody knew that I was untouchable. I hadn't had a really good match. I knew that it was my season, So I think the pressure came from just knowing that it's 100% should be mine, and that 1% chance that like something went wrong in the match.
Allison's win at the Tacoma Dome wasn't too surprising. The Seattle News Tribune named her one of the untouchables with 88 wins and only 1 loss. Off the mat, Allison has learned many valuable life skills.
You just feel like you want to give up, and wrestling has taught me how to push through that, you know, and like it's taught me that it's like a really good thing, you know, like I mean I'm getting all this praise, but I'm getting this praise because I'm fighting for what I want, and I think that's taught me how to like do that in other parts of my life too.
Allison is only the 4th Clark County wrestler to have won 3 state championships. Her coach thinks she could eventually compete in the Olympics if she really wants. As for Allison, she wants to be an engineer after college. Back to you.
Thanks, Aiden. Vancouver Superintendent Dr. Steve Webb won a national award for his work supporting students. Dr. Webb accepted the Dr. Effie H. Jones Humanitarian Award at the School Superintendents Association National Conference. The award recognizes Dr. Webb's commitment to providing academic and non-academic support to all students, improving graduation rates and closing opportunity and achievement gaps. Under his watch, the district has expanded its family community resource centers, boosted those graduation rates, especially for students living in poverty. A pair of students from Vancouver got involved in the democratic process by serving as pages in the state legislature. William Clark, seen here with Representative Monica Stonier, spent a week in Olympia at the Washington State House of Representatives. William goes to Discovery Middle School. His duties included presenting the flags and distributing amendments on the House floor, along with other duties. This isn't his first foray into the legislative world. 2 years ago, William advocated on behalf of a bill to provide relief for students who couldn't pay for lunch, which later became a law. But he wasn't the only local kid who served. Colleen Scott, a student at Skyview High School, also served as a page with Representative Stonier. In addition to the duties we already mentioned, pages also get civics instruction, draft their own bills, and participate in mock committee hearings. Congrats to both William and Colleen for getting involved. It's time now for a WeLearn update, a look at how students and teachers are using technology in the classroom. This time around, we have 2 stories from Eisenhower Elementary. The first combined reading with multimedia to give kids a chance to be creative in their learning. Joining us now with more is Amanda Richter. Amanda?
Thanks. It's important for students to not only understand a lesson, but also to demonstrate it. When it comes to books, it's often a standard book report. But in Mr. Lee's class at Eisenhower, they use digital tools to go a step further.
That's what John Barry would do.
It's an exciting afternoon at Eisenhower Elementary as students are entertained by author James Kennedy. He's here for the 92nd Newberry Film Festival, a collection of student-made films from across the country. The Newberry is awarded annually for outstanding writing in a children's book, and the films in the festival have 90 seconds to tell one of those stories. Nathan Lee's 3rd grade class has a film in this year's festival focused on the classic Mrs. Frisbee and the Rats of Nim, and today it makes its debut.
Kids coming!
They're nervous and excited today as they're hosting and bringing people in, but they're excited to share their work with everyone.
Students had to read the book, select the most important scenes, and write a script.
We had to go through this narrowing process, which in turn made sure that every student truly understands what's happening. To go through character development and understanding what each of the characters are and what they mean, it really brings a whole nother level to understanding the story.
After they wrote the script, students worked on sets and props and shot the movie in front of a green screen. Then video editing, special effects, and audio editing before submitting to the festival.
Well, I'm very proud because it's a big achievement. Not very many schools get the opportunity to do it. So it's really fun.
The final product lets kids demonstrate their learning in a fun way and reminds them that reading is its own reward.
I mean, it helps your knowledge. It's better than being on video games or watching TV and stuff. It'll just make you smarter, and it's fun.
This is the 9th year of the festival, but the first time Eisenhower has taken part. Students got technical help from the school's instructional technology facilitator. Back to you.
Thank you, Amanda. Another event at Eisenhower got kids thinking about space, and they had some special guests on hand to do it.
1, 2, 3.
At an evening space camp night, Star Wars Oregon showed up in costume, which, as you can imagine, went over very well. Kids took pictures with the characters, but the real draw was all of the fun activities for families. Stations featured reading, math, science, and more. The event was a fun way for parents to get involved in their children's education.
Well, my kids heard about space camp from their teachers today, and they were excited to go. And I got home from work and they said, we gotta go to space camp. So here we are.
I think it's an opportunity that it provides them maybe an outlet. It's not, going to the movies, or it's not having to pay for something, but just kind of that old-fashioned, let's play a board game together or a card game or something, and so they get to interact.
Students are engaged academically at evening events like this, but the biggest benefit may be social.
Like, you usually wait like a whole night to see your friends again, and it's fun if you get to see them sooner.
It's nice. It makes the school feel more like a community instead of just, clock in, clock out.
This is one of several events at Eisenhower throughout the year to encourage family engagement. And if you want to see more stories about technology in the classroom, the district's YouTube channel has you covered. Head to vansd.org/VanSDTV and look for the We Learn playlist. Vancouver proudly offers the arts to all of its students, including music. To encourage middle schoolers to stay involved, high schoolers took a mini tour. The Ambassador Ensembles put on 2 performances, first at Discovery Middle School. For the second at Skyview High School, students from all of the middle schools were bussed in. The goal was to remind 8th graders that they can continue to take classes next year and beyond, and what's so wonderful about music.
It's great for math and reading, and it's super cool to build a community of friends and have people around you all the time.
Music is a very therapeutic type of thing. It can help release your emotions in a healthy way, and it's important to show these kids that you can have a good time while doing it.
There were 3 ensembles in total: band, orchestra, and choir, and every high school program was equally represented. They only had 1 rehearsal all together, but were able to come together beautifully to make music. This event was made possible in part by the Foundation for Vancouver Public Schools. Time now for the big picture, our favorite image from social media, and this one comes from Anderson Elementary and the annual Green Eggs and Ham celebration for first graders. Beach's Restaurant provides breakfast for families at every elementary in Vancouver, and Riverview Bank hands out books. It's a great literacy builder for kids, and we'll have even more on this big event in our next episode. And let's take a look now at what's happening in Vancouver Public Schools. It is one of our favorite events. The Patty Hauk Parade rolls down Main Street, Vancouver on St. Patrick's Day, March 17th. The fun gets going at 12:30. It's all to honor legendary Vancouver educator Patty Hauk, who was born on St. Patrick's Day. Wear some green and cheer on the students and staff who make this event such a fun time for everybody. And that's just about it for us. For Tara Cox, Amanda Richter, and Aiden Billingsley, I'm Nick Vole. We'll see you next time.